Namaskar. Welcome to my channel Vedic Astrology Guru. Today we will be discussing Mercury placed in first house for Aries ascendant. But to know about all the latest videos and updates, kindly subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon. So, Mercury in first house for Aries ascendant. First of all, Mercury is a natural benefic planet. When it is placed in the ascendant, the first house, it nullifies a lot of bad effects of the horoscope. For example, there is Mars in the sixth, it may give you some bad results. But because the natural sixth house is governed by Mercury, the Kala Purusha chart starting Aries ascendant, it's a natural lordship of Mercury that governs the sixth house. And if that Mercury is in the ascendant, since it is a natural benefic, it nullifies the bad effects of lot of planets. The person is very noble, the person is generous, the person is diplomatic. Don't forget that Mercury belongs to the hierarchy of the kingdom as a prince. In the royal cabinet, it is a prince. So, diplomacy. Now, Mercury is very analytical. The strategy of Mercury is to work by analyzing and then moving forward. So, Mercury is very analytical. Humor, being jocular, is part of the personality of the individual with Mercury in the ascendant. There is a lot of patience in the individual. Why? Again, Mercury governs intellect, and somebody who has a lot of power over their intelligence, a lot of command, they are well read, they exercise patience, they are kind, they are they have a lot of power of reasoning, the power to reason, the power to analyze and give quick witty answers is very high. But if there is affliction, then in that case what happens is the person becomes argumentative, because it is the lord of the natural lord of the sixth house. The person is competitive, the person is detail oriented. Now, why detail oriented? Now, these characteristics, they have been allocated not just like that. There is relevance always. There is a reasoning, there is a rationale attached to every characteristic. Now, second house is the house of vision. And from second to second, we also consider the third, because these houses are linked up, they are not independent. And that natural lord of third house, and specifically now we are talking about Aries, so it eventually becomes the lord of the third house, and that is in ascendant. So the person becomes more analytical and detail oriented. The person is strategic in overcoming obstacles of life, especially when it is about defeating rivals. So this becomes very important. Overthinking, restlessness can be there depending upon the malefic influences of Mercury. These individuals are good in arts, craft, music. They may be fond of music. Sometimes they may be listening to music. Sometimes they may have an aspiration to do something in arts. So these inclinations will be there. And even there can be professions. The individual may be doing some sort of profession associated with this. They are very fond of traveling. They are very choosy and particular in eating food. Initially, they may be consuming a large amount of food when they are in their prime youth. But gradually, that food intake after the age of 30, it gradually declines. Because if Mercury is in ascendant, the food intake is very controlled, they are very choosy. They also have knowledge of medicine, or they have knowledge of herbal home remedy that can be there, because sixth lord is in the ascendant, and Mercury is also the planet governing knowledge, intellect. So that's that. Now, Mercury in the first house, usually it confers fame, and name, power to the native. The native is usually very clever. Sometimes the native, depending upon negative combinations of planet, negative aspects of planet, or the specific nakshatras, the individual may be shrewd. Although he may indulge in spirituality, meditation, but the individual will be very clever. The way of dressing, how they will dress, they will dress very fine and neat, but many a times they will also have interest in what others are wearing, and they will try to wear the same costume or the same color combinations. I mean, we can say they are kind of copycat. Usually the person looks younger than his age, the body structure is lean. Regarding their choices of career, the person can be an architect dealing in technology, a technological worker. The person may be a lawyer, the person may be a mathematician, the person may be a chartered accountant, a book writer, a publisher, somebody who has to deal with editing of text. The person can be an astrologer. Also, because it is a planet associated with royal cabinet, so the individual can also be a very good diplomat, or a person who is a middle person between two individuals. People who work as middle person, commission agents, psychologists, they can succeed well in profession where mental agility and persuasive skills are needed. They have the ability to read others' mind because they are very analytical. They can look into the, finer details and creases. So this is their speciality. But if it is afflicted, then there are a lot of health struggles, career struggles in life, struggles pertaining to communication, emotional disbalances, issues pertaining to nervous system, brain, and we can say to some extent it also works as an agent of depression if it is highly afflicted. There can be also deformity of limbs in the body, or person may be limbless. Extreme negative impact can also make the person wicked, fraudulent. The negativity may persist when there is negative influence. The relationship with brother may not be very harmonious. and the individual may be the eldest or youngest sibling within the family. Now, this Mercury is in 12th house from the second. So individual may be very fluent and fast speaker. In the matters of finances, he may be organized unless it is afflicted. If there is affliction, then he may not be very well organized. Since it is in 12th position from the second house, the house of finance and family, he will always try to prove an upper hand when it comes to communication with family. Since we discussed, this planet is very analytical. The person has the ability to communicate in a very witty way. So he will always try to have an upper hand. The person may be a very good learner from a very early age, since second house is also your primary education. But from 12th, this is second. Being 12th to second, the person may get opportunity to connect with foreign individuals. The person may have frequent communication with foreign individuals once he starts to get into the work life. Regarding the expenses will be very well calculated, very well maintained, unless there is an affliction. From third, this is in 11th position. And from 11th, it is in third position. So 11th to 3rd, the person will have some siblings. Either he will be the youngest one or the person may be the eldest one. But this Mercury is posited in the sign of an enemy, Mars. So there may be some distancing, some conflicts in middle 20s if there are other siblings. The person will definitely be working hard. And from a very early age, he will also get success in whatever he wants to accomplish. Now from 4th house, this Mercury is in 10th position. And from 10th, it is in 4th. Here is a catch. Although it is a good positioning, but the catch is that Mercury, as per the ancient classics, it is mentioned that Mercury does not give complete results when there is placement of Mercury in the 4th house. So whenever there is a 4th relationship reflecting in regards of Mercury, the results diminish. So here the 4th house is the house of your family where you have grown up as a child. The 4th house also signifies relationship with mother. The 4th house generally shows happiness entirely. So there will be some setbacks, not in a very high percentage, but there will be some setbacks. Either it may be that the native may have to leave house at an early age because the native is very ambitious, or he frequently changes house. Because Mercury is a fast moving planet, it's not a slow moving planet, being the innermost planet. Because Mercury is in 4th position from the 10th. So the career, the professional journey of the individual will be very dramatic. Either he may rise very much, either he may rise at an early age, or there may be modifications and changes frequently. So there will be dramatic events in pertaining to profession. Now it is in 9th position from the fifth house. So the native from a very early age becomes a master of a lot of subjects. But the native also thinks that he is the master of all, since it is in fifth position from the ninth. But don't forget, it is also the sixth lord placed in the ascendant. So the mastery is like, I am God, I can't be defeated, and I am always right. And this kind of an attitude will result in setbacks for the individual, either in relationship or public image. Education is gained effortlessly. Since the placement of Mercury makes the individual in the ascendant competitive, and from 6th house it is in 8th position. So native is always struggling hard to stay at the top. But from 8th house it is in 6th position. So there are a lot of rivals for this kind of an individual. He has to constantly face a lot of competition in life. He has to constantly face setbacks in life. But in many cases, he overcomes those issues. This also makes this kind of Mercury being in 8th position from the 6th and 6th position from the 8th. This makes the person speculative as well. Not directly dealing into stock exchanges, but generally in life, the individual becomes speculative. Then from 9th, the house of religion, the house of luck, it is in 5th position. So native is, even if a native is born in a small family or a family which is not having a high status, the native gains status very gradually from a very early age. So when I say early age, I'm talking about when he starts to enter his professional streams. But again, because it is the 6th lord and the 3rd lord, the house of courage, the 6th house being a trick house, an evil house, and it is in 5th position from the 9th. Not forgetting that 12th house is the house of debilitation. Now this Mercury has just come out of debilitation and in the sign of Mars. So there is a lot of ego and pride, which makes the native think, I am a guru myself. I know all. What I say is right. And this results in a lot of setbacks in life. Because you cannot ignore the fact that it is still closest to its debilitation sign, that is Pisces. From 10th, it is 4th. Now this position pertaining to father, the father is also intelligent, the father is also sharp, but the father may not have an upper hand in family. The say of the father may not be very strong in the family, because Mercury is a soft planet. It's a benefic planet. It's a neutral planet. In regards of career, the individual rises well because of his own intellect, because of his own efforts. Because Mercury is also the third lord. So from fourth, again it is going in 10th. Since fourth is getting involved, so this kind of an individual has to stay away from home for us, for an ample period in life to attain a higher level. So it could be because of the transfer, it could be like the office could be very far, or the person may have to go for higher studies leaving his home. So distancing from home specifically for career has to be there. In rare cases, the individual may be working very near or from within the home, but in that case the success may not be very high, or the individual may not shine out in the society. So the more the distance, the more the distancing from house in regards of career and professional achievements, the better it is. From 11th, it is in third position. The house of income. So native, the individual, gains a lot from his efforts. Eleventh house is also an obstructive house for Aries. So this kind of an placement indicates that native has to struggle at every step unless he has achieved his highest goals. So he has to struggle because this is the lord of the 6th house. 11th, it is third, and from third it is 11th. But whatever efforts native puts in, he will definitely get benefit out of it. Nothing goes in vain. But this Mercury, since it is in third position from the 11th, and Mercury is a planet of intelligence and intellect, the 11th house is also the house of desires. Even a very minute or mild affliction of a malefic can spiral out the amount of desires the individual has. Uncontrollable desires. And native always is trying to strategically move ahead to achieve his goals. Always conspiring, always making strategies to fulfill his desires. But it is an obstructive house. There will be hidden, deep-rooted desires which are pending in this kind of an individual's life. It will always be there. From 12th, it is in second position, just out of debilitation. In some cases, the person may be a miser. Some cases, not all cases. Again, the affliction will result into that. But foreign relations, gain from foreign relations can only and only come in subordination. Superiority and superiority complex may result in damages from foreign relationships. In order to have gain from foreign lands, foreign companies, people living abroad, dealing with them, doing business with them, or working for them, only that can be attained when you agree to subordination. Matters of ego here will result in a lot of loss. And from second, it is again in 12th. When there are matters of finances specifically associated with abroad, you have to be very, very careful. So this kind of Mercury can result beautifully if it is aspected, well aspected by benefics, conjunct with benefics. But any maleficence of Saturn, any maleficence of Rahu, Mars, it will result in a lot of troubles, in a lot of setbacks, in a lot of damages to the individual. It could be professional, it could be health, it could be public image, or matters of family itself. So these are the general effects of Mercury being placed in first house. And if you liked this video, you have any questions or any comments pertaining to what I have mentioned here, please kindly put in your reply in the comment box below. If you want me to make a specific video regarding something specific, please put in your ideas in the comment box and I will definitely reply to you for that. And yes, to get the latest updates of the latest videos, don't forget to subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon. Namaste.